Revelation 2322. From the 3rd of May 1942. Working of the Spirit requires conscious state. It is an unusual gift of grace when a human being can enjoy a direct mediation of the divine word. And yet this human being must have shaped himself beforehand in such a way that God will dignify him with such mediation. This is by no means an act of curtailing the will, for the human being's will must likewise have previously declared itself willing to receive the divine word. Thus the word cannot be given to him if his will resists it or is switched off. Then God used an unwilling instrument to express himself. And then the working of the Spirit is switched off, thus the Spirit out of God cannot manifest itself obviously, and there can be no talk of an emanation of God. The unconscious state does not correspond to God's will. Admittedly, good spiritual beings often express themselves through such people if they fully place themselves under their influence, and then the expressions are to be believed. However, usually weak-willed people are oppressed by strong-willed bad forces, thus the strong will is transferred to the former, and then the human being only echoes what is whispered to him by those forces. Whereas a person who surrenders himself to God's influence of his own free will can only receive purest truth, because the Spirit from God is active, which also manifests itself through clearly understandable expressions which beneficially touch the human being. The lack of freedom of will greatly reduces the value of what is commanded, and therefore those revelations must be examined with utmost care before they are rejected or accepted. And the truth-loving person asking God for enlightenment will also feel in his heart what he should accept as truth and what he should reject. For God does not let those who want to know the truth go astray, he brings the truth close to them and at the same time enlightens them in order to persuade them to accept what is offered if they are willing, or he sharpens their power of judgment where what is offered does not fully correspond to divine truth. He does not leave people in the dark who have the desire for light. And if they are in danger of judging wrongly, he warns them and protects them from wrong judgment. But this shall not remain hidden from you humans that God, in his love and wisdom, chooses many instruments for himself and reveals his will to them, to humanity for the salvation of their souls. Yet he always chooses earthly children whose spiritual state of maturity allows God to approach them in a conscious state and make his will known to them. For the working of the Spirit is not the influencing of an unwilling creature but a gift of grace, offered to the human being who consciously hands himself over to God and wants to receive his gift. The working of the Spirit is an overflow of divine strength into the human body which, due to this influx of strength, can accomplish extraordinary things and is thus also introduced to profound wisdom by the Spirit within itself, which unites with the Spirit outside of itself in a fully awake state and now receives the truth from God according to divine will. Amen.